We talk about recommendations to safeguard your legal and commercial interest. Laytime is agreed time or allowed time for loading and discharging. It is defined in clause number 17 in GenCon 2022. If laytime will be total or laytime for loading or discharging, separate laytime for discharging. Also, it is spelled out in clause number 12 in Shell Voyage 6, like how many hours will be given to the charterer to load or discharge his cargo. If the charterer, for example, like was giving 5 days, but he loaded and discharged in 6 days, it means he will pay demurrage or penalty for 1 day. This is what we call demurrage. But if he finished instead of 5 days, no, he only used 4 days, it means the ship owner will pay him for the saved 1 day. That's what we call dispatch. It's a kind of reward from the owner to the charterer. Very important here, if we are using the form GenCon 2022 for dry cargo, it's already inserted in clause number 10 regarding laytime and laytime definitions and whatever related to laytime. It is very important here, it is inserted in the form the PIMCO laytime definitions for charter parties 2013 shall be deemed incorporated. So any definition regarding laytime or whatever related to laytime, we have to refer to PIMCO laytime definitions for charter parties 2013. That's how it looks like from the first page. You can download it from PIMCO. Here how it looks like, laytime definition for charter parties 2013. If you download it from PIMCO, it's some kind of dictionary for laytime definitions or any terminology related to laytime, so you better refer to laytime definition for charter parties 2013. It's already included or incorporated in GenCon 2022, but if you are not using 2022, other form you are using, please insert this one to avoid any dispute. It's about 4 pages, as you can see how it looks like, all kind of definition, port, berth, reachable on arrival, all kind of terminology related to laytime calculation. It's here regarding laytime, calendar day, working day, running day, weather working day, what type of weather working day we are agreeing on here. It's some kind of agreed dictionary between the charterer and the ship owner to avoid any dispute. Regarding types of laytime, we have first one here, we have average to average laytime. It means separate calculations are to be made for loading and discharging, and that any time saved in one operation is to be set off against any excess time used in the other one. We have also reversible laytime, which is good for the charterer. Reversible, it means the charterer shall mean an option given to the charterer to add together the time allowed for loading and discharging. But sometimes, of course, the ship owner is saying, no, this is non-reversible. It depends on what was agreed in the charter party. Notice of readiness, let's define notice of readiness. It's all defined in the form. Notice of readiness is some kind of declaration that the ship is ready to load or discharge given by the ship master. We have one important clause here, sometimes or most of the time it is inserted by the ship owner. We have to be aware of this clause. If added, the time waiting for berth to count as loading or discharging time or as lay time. So it is, if the ship is waiting for 5 days at anchorage waiting to be docked, it means all this time will be counted as lay time or demurrage here. Charterer must be aware of this. We have that clause here, WIBON clause. It means if the ship arrived in the port and is waiting at anchorage area, any time, waiting time, it will be considered an arrived ship here and the time will count as lay time. Also, sometimes this clause is inserted by the ship owner, whether in berth or not. WIBON clause or berth or no berth. So the ship owner is informing the charterer the ship will arrive as close as she can and drop her anchor if there is no berth available. Any time counted here will be counted as lay time or or on demurrage. The same WIBON clause, whether in port or not, is the same. We have to agree on what kind of weather working day according to what was mentioned in the abbreviation or BIMCO abbreviation 2013, which weather working day we agreed on. You have to refer to that. Usually the excluded time for loading or discharging due to hindrance of weather, it will be excluded from the laytime calculation. All this terminology here, SHINC, what does it mean? Sunday, holiday included. It means the ship owner negotiated that Sunday and holidays, if it happens, the ship in port and it was Sunday or holidays, and there is no work, for example, in Sunday and holidays, the time will be counted as lay time, which is good for the ship owner. SHIC here, what does it mean? Sunday, holiday excluded. So the charterer negotiated here that Sunday, holiday will be excluded here. It will not be counted as lay time. What does it mean unless used here? If we are using here or we agreed on Sunday, holiday excluded, but the ship owner here inserted that additional clause unless used, it means if the charterer worked on Sunday or holiday, here he worked, for example, 5-6 hours, that time, 6 hours, for example, will be counted as lay time. I mean, if we use it, it means it will be counted as lay time unless used. So here, the charterer worked here in holiday and Sunday, for example, 5-6 hours, that time will be counted as lay time if it was inserted unless used by the ship owner here. Regarding once on demurrage, always on demurrage rule, as we just mentioned, the charter, for example, if he agreed Sunday holiday excluded and he agreed on weather working days. So now all these benefits, if the lay time expired and the ship is on demurrage, all these benefits will be not applicable anymore. It means if it rains or holiday or Sunday, all the time will be counted as lay time. That's what we mean once on demurrage, always on demurrage. It means all the exclusions are not valid anymore. But we have one important point here. If, for example, the ship is on demurrage and we are applying that rule once on demurrage, always on demurrage, but we have some kind of problems here to the ship's crane or pumps of a tanker, like we have some kind of delay due to the ship's owner's fault here. So that time will not be counted as lay time or demurrage, or we mean here, I mean the demurrage time will be paused here. So that time will not be counted here. It means once on demurrage, always on demurrage rule is not valid if delayed due to owner's fault. When does lay time actually start under a voyage charter? Because so many disputes regarding the starting point of lay time. So it is so important to understand all these issues here and what triggers or conditions has to be met here to start lay time. So the first one here, the vessel must be arrived at the agreed point of destination, depending on whether it's a port or berth charter. The ship has to be an arrived ship first. If it's port charter, for example, the ship already dropped her anchor at port of Singapore. This is called arrived ship here. And lay time will start and the ship's master can tender the notice of readiness. If it is berth charter, so the master cannot tender notice of readiness until the ship arrives berth, for example, berth number 7 in Singapore, inside the port itself. So the ship will not be considered as arrived ship, or we start lay time and until the ship already inside the port itself. Also, number 2, the vessel must be legally and physically ready to load or discharge. This is very important, like cranes or pumps from all aspects. Also, notice of readiness must be tendered properly as per the charter party terms, because so many cases and disputes regarding invalid notice of readiness and mistakes due to the master tendered invalid notice of readiness. So it must be valid according to what was agreed in the charter party. Also, any time agreed has expired, like sometimes in the charter party it was agreed like 6 hours as grace period, or we call it turn time, has expired. In some charter parties they agree, sometimes charterer and ship owners they agree that 6 hours are allowed as grace period before we start calculating lay time, so all these hours must expire first. We have some kind of mistakes in lay time calculations and avoiding dispute or claims. Most importantly here, misinterpreting notice of readiness. So we have to refer to what was agreed in the charter party, who should receive that notice of readiness, and the timing also. It should be in accordance with the charter party because so many disputes regarding invalid notice of readiness was given. So notice of readiness is valid only if the vessel is an arrived ship, of course, and ready to load, discharge in all aspects. Regarding waiting time at anchorage, usually it's for the charterer's account, and the owner is inserting all these clauses here to make sure the charterer understand any time waiting at anchorage, it will be counted as lay time and it will be considered an arrived ship. Like WIBON, whether in berth or not, the ship will be an arrived ship, whether customs cleared or not, WIPON, whether in free break or not. These often make waiting time at anchorage count as lay time. Of course, we have to refer to what else was agreed in the charter party. Regarding shifting time and expenses for the vessel in the port, usually, of course, it is for the charterer's account, and it is clearly spelled out in SHINC 2022. You have to agree on that of if it was inserted or you are using different form. Make sure who will bear the cost of shifting time to avoid any dispute. That's how it's spelled out in SHINC form 2022 in clause number 12. Any shifting time, lay time, or time on demurrage, and any related tug and pilot expenses shall be for the account of the charterer, which makes sense, of course. Regarding weather delay misunderstanding here, we have to make sure what type of weather working day we are using. We have to refer again to the form BEMCO, abbreviation of lay time definitions 2013. We have to agree which one was used, but usually the affected period is only excluded due to the weather hindrance. Recommendations: it is very important to read the charter party carefully, and also each charter party is different because sometimes additional clauses are used here or rider clauses are used. Second point, each charter party is different even if the same form is used due to added clauses to each one. Also, to negotiate every clause to protect and safeguard your commercial legal interest. Aim to minimize both operational and legal risks. Remember, keep negotiating. The worst they can say is no. Seek legal advice or consultancy if in doubt to avoid costly risks. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.